In the South Korean entertainment world, relationships between idol group members are always in the spotlight. However, the meeting between Kim Taehyung V and Jungkook of BTS recently caused an unexpected stir. What really happened between them? Is there really an astonishing tension behind the scenes? On December 11, 2023, V uploaded a screenshot of a video call with Jungkook on his Instagram story. In the image, the two appear with full heads and no clothes, a sight rarely seen by the public. V wrote, "You go first. Come in healthy tomorrow," referring to his mandatory military enlistment that was due to begin the day before Jungkook. This upload immediately sparked mixed reactions from fans. The hashtag #TAKOK was trending on social media, with thousands tweeting about the moment. Some fans were amused, while others were dismayed by the closeness shown. However, this is not the first time that the interaction between V and Jungkook has caused a stir. In February 2023, the two went live together on Instagram in the early hours of the morning, surprising fans who didn't expect the interaction. Their sudden presence led to speculation about the relationship between the two and the reasons behind the broadcast. In addition, in October 2023, V, Jimin, and Jungkook were spotted together at a cafe on Jeju Island. This moment was captured in a photo that V uploaded on Instagram, showing their closeness offstage. However, their seemingly private meeting location raised questions among fans about the reasons behind the meeting. On the other hand, rumors about the personal lives of BTS members also often stick out. In January 2023, photos circulated that allegedly showed Jungkook on a date on Jeju Island. Although fans were quick to deny the rumors, this incident adds to a long list of speculation about the BTS members' personal lives. Previously, in December 2019, V publicly expressed his discomfort with saying or overly obsessive fans who often invade their privacy, such as knowing flight schedules and sitting near them. This statement shows how vulnerable the personal lives of idols are to invasion of privacy. From the various events above, it is clear that the interaction between V and Jungkook has always attracted public attention. However, it is important for fans and media to respect their privacy and not be too quick to draw conclusions from every interaction that occurs. Swat a too long army only given pieces of sweet pictures. Funny video call footage, smiles on stage, and hugs behind the scenes. However, behind all that sweetness, there is something darker. A harsh reality that no one dared to open before the night it happened. A night that will never be written in the big hit log. A night that even their manager refused to discuss. Night when Kim Taehyung and Jungkook finally meet alone after so long. What happened was no ordinary meeting. An insider in BTS's environment has finally opened up. On condition of anonymity. I know everyone thinks they're always familiar, but you should know one thing. When a person keeps too many wounds behind laughter, they will gradually burst out in the wrong place and at the wrong time. And that night, their wounds broke. The location is not a fancy place either. Not the studio. It's not a coffee shop as usual. They met in a place that surprised everyone, the former BTS old training studio, where they trained many years before becoming famous. The studio was dark, cold, and long abandoned. Why did they choose that place? Only Taehyung and Jungkook know why. However, rumor has it, the studio holds too many memories, too many promises, and too many betrayals that are never told. According to reliable sources, Jungkook arrived late that night. His car was parked away from the studio, as if he didn't want to be caught by the paparazzi. He walked alone, without bodyguards, wearing only a black hoodie and a mask. But witnesses say, when Jungkook opened the studio door, the atmosphere immediately turned tense. No greeting. No smiles. Just a piercing look. And words that instantly made the atmosphere tense. Taehyung is already waiting sitting on the studio floor with a small light on. In front of him lay something that gave goosebumps, an old photograph of the two of them, torn in half. Taehyung's first sentence makes Jungkook freeze. No camera. No fans. There is no army. There are no intermediaries. Just two guys who used to swear they'd always be there for each other. But reality says otherwise. During their difficult times, especially after major controversies in the media, news of conscription, and agency pressure, the two began to drift apart. There are whispers that Jungkook feels betrayed. Taehyung felt abandoned, and that night, everything exploded. According to a witness who was not far from the studio, the sound of an object being slammed was heard loudly that night. I heard the sound of chairs slamming, then silence. Then there was a sound like people holding back tears, but not sad tears, more like anger, disappointment, and frustration mixed together. No camera. There is no army. There was no BTS as a group that night. Only Taehyung and Jungkook, two best friends, turned into two strangers. The next day, Jungkook uploaded a story on Instagram with just one word: empty. Empty. Not long after, Taehyung replaced his Instagram profile with a picture of a dark sky and shooting stars as if to signal a hope that had already been lost. Fans began to panic. Is this the end of Taehyung? Did they have a big fight? Is this the beginning of a bigger breakup? A few days after the tense meeting, they were not seen together at all. Not on the training schedule, not at the airport, not even on social media. Until the end, a photo leaked. A blurry image from CCTV of a small cafe in the Itaewon area. Two figures sit opposite Taehyung and Jungkook, not smiling, not talking. However, there was one thing that made the army cry again. Haru. On their table, there were two small rings, their old friendship rings, left on the table. That fateful meeting did happen. There was anger. There was disappointment. There was an old wound that was finally opened. However, maybe that's the meeting they need to get through, to get back to being Taehyung and Jungkook, who are more mature, stronger, and more honest with each other. Because sometimes, friendship is not just about laughter. Sometimes, friendship is about daring to face the darkest realities of each other and still choosing not to go. Will you let me move on to the next part with the biggest plot twist about what exactly is the secret between Taehyung and Jungkook that makes them have to meet in secret like this? It's no longer about friendship. It's about dark truths that are deliberately buried. During a week after their gripping meeting at BTS' old studio, the world seemed to stand still. There is no official statement. There is no clarification. ARMY was only given bits and pieces of clues from their social media. However, an insider, a former big hit long-time staffer, finally leaked something that made the world uproar. A letter, old letter, handwritten, with initials at the bottom, Q and A. The letter is not just a nostalgic message. The contents of the letter, like a time bomb. If one day we turn out to be strangers, if the world separates us, remember, not because I hate you, but because something is too big, it's too dangerous to tell the public. Maybe we'll look like we left each other. Maybe we'll look like enemies. But only you know who I really am. And I know who you really are. Just the two of us. To the end. Q and A. What exactly is the big secret that makes them have to pretend to be far away, pretend to be silent with each other, even pretend to be hostile in front of the world? Several former BTS staff members began to give shocking testimonies. I can't go into details, but trust me, there was an old agreement between Taehyung and Jungkook, a secret agreement that was made even before they debuted.